Hippity hoppity bippity boo, I'm gonna come and steal your loot. Hi everyone, this is Karak from ACG, and you know, I've always wanted my own fighting championships, a nice octagon and some wild animals to go against humans. I'd call it Fight My Random Animal because everyone enjoys a good man against malnourished baboon battle, right? But it was never to be. Luckily, I just found the next best thing, and that is the game Armello, a board game, card game, RPG combination that trail mixes itself onto Steam as a full release September 1st, 2015. This is a game where you take on the role of a forest creature adventurer in a tabletop environment as the kingdom's liege slowly descends into insanity like some kind of tiger version of Mad King Ludwig crazy pantsing his kingdom into oblivion. You traverse the land exploring, battling, and leveling up your heroes before trying to win the game using various winnable conditions. It's Redwall meets Game of Thrones via Risk as channeled through Magic the Gathering. Think I'm kidding? Yeah, nope, it's just that. Let's check it out and see. So here's the review for Armello. Forest creature death matches evil necrotic birds, multiplayer stabbings, and rotting from the inside out. Remember, if you like this review, please subscribe. It does help and costs you nothing. Gameplay is up first. In Armello, you start the game picking from an assorted murderer's row of fur-covered animals like the unabashedly battle-hardened Amber, a parasol-carrying rabbit, or the dastardly and obviously trustworthy Mercurio, a rat of Nim wannabe whose first action in every negotiation is to stab. Rounded out by a couple others, the characters are chosen, the world's randomly generated, and you begin the day and night cycle of animal death and the countdown to the king's eventual demise. You start out by picking a handful of cards, choosing quests to undertake, and then you end up traveling the land, exploring dungeons deep, valleys vast, and occasionally going furry head-to-head with other forest creatures. Now, one of the first things you're going to notice in the game is the ability to use the cards in your hand at almost any time, pushing other players aside as you outfit your murder rabbit with plate armor, a massive two-handed axe, and some kind of Java juice that augments their movements across the board. Now, you use all these equipment and items and spells to win the game, and there are more than enough victory conditions for even the most battle-hardened strategy gamer. There's a couple ways to win the game here. The first, of course, is to kill the Mad Lion King Simba, or to raise your prestige by doing good deeds high enough that when the Mad King finally succumbs to the often mentioned rot that occurs in the game, you end up taking over. Or hell, you can go solid Donald Trump on the world and achieve the delightfully named and child-friendly rot victory, or travel the land collecting special stones that can be used to exorcise the demons from the king's body. Yeah, you heard that right. You can heal via the age-old rite of stoning someone. Since the world's base size is fairly small, battles are prevalent, with the game switching to a dice card game battler where your stats, which can be adjusted by an assortment of cards, trinkets, and special effects, are turned into dice, either attack or defend, depending on their use. Here you can also throw away or burn cards in your hand, turning them into additional dice, offering a strategic moment of decision. Do you end up with less cards in your hand, or do you hope you can make it through the battle without being mulched? It's all wonderfully balanced. Then the dice are rolled, and you see who ends up winning by counting the faces. Attacks happen regardless of any damage done, meaning an enemy you soundly defeated still gets to attack you before twisting their own mortal coil, resulting in the possibility that both you and your enemy will end up respawning back at your starting point to begin again. Because in one of the strangest ways the game's rules play out, you all live politicians' lives, returning again and again after seemingly life-ending battles. Additionally, as you travel, tests happen within the game world called perils, where you have to get through the problem using a mix of your statistic like wits or spirit against the perils level, and if you do, you get something nice like, well, living through it. There are a couple little issues here and there in this fairy tale adventure though. First, the biggest strength in the game could be the weakness, and that's that the board is randomly generated. Some setups at times could feel a bit brutal depending on how the board was laid out. Additionally, while the king has his own guards patrolling the land, and there are also even flying vulture dudes spreading rot around like bird droppings, I swear to God they had rabbit on their menu, or rat, or bear, or wolf. Whatever creature I was, these damn things seemed dead set on sending me back to that storage room where they keep Walt Disney's skeleton and a bevy of dead forest creatures. Luckily, despite this, the small amount of moves you can make during each turn, the ability to use a card as long as you have the gold or requisite skill level at any time within the game, and the ability to plan ahead via the board's somewhat small size, made planning a strategy incredibly easy, and yet flexible enough to change mid-turn. I'd say all in all, this really is a digital board game with magic mixed in, and for the most part, it's done really well. Graphics. I just adore the way this game looks. The color of Disney, the design that's half Alice in Wonderland, half fairy tale, and the world that's hex-based, but the creatures decidedly not so cumbersome. Character design as you traverse the world one geometric tile at a time are excellent, with an eye towards fantasy as they wield swords, axes, traps, and all manner of slightly assorted spells. Since this is a board game style presentation, you are a bit away from the action, but the world looks pretty good. Imagine a board game version of Settlers of Catan filled with homicidal animals. One area of excellence is the equipment, traps, and spell cards with their animated faces that really deliver the atmosphere in spades. It's just overall excellent, even if much of the true gameplay is in static screens. Sound, music, and voice. As always, sound is up first here. It's nothing to write home about. Listen, this is a board game in digital form, which means many of the sounds are dice being rolled or cards being burned to be used as additional dice, or the occasional death. It's all well and good, but by the sheer way the game is designed, it lacks a lot of emotional punch. Music. Harps, violins, horns. The HVH combo that so many fantasy games latch onto has done fantastic service here with a fully fleshed out track that keeps a light, airy feel going throughout the game and has a couple decidedly dark bits of content. The tracks are excellent, if a bit similar, but listening to them outside the game would not be surprising for many gamers. And the deep somber drop when the day loses to night and things get a little creepy in Animal Land solidly locks the atmosphere in place. It's overall a great job, if a bit samey from time to time. Voice. None. Guys, these are animals. They can't talk. That'd be just weird. That, of course, brings us to the great equalizer known as fun factor. Everything combined into one giant transformer of awesome. And this is great fun. Listen, it's a board game in digital form, so if you don't like that kind of thing, it's not for you. If you are and do, then this is a game worth checking out. Whether alone or with others, the game matches were interesting and didn't overstay their welcome. And the consistently different strategic decisions I could make based on what cards I drew and where I was on the board made each game feel fresh. So as you guys know, I rate games on a buy, wait for a sale, rent, or a deep sale if it's a PC game, and of course the never touch it again rating scale. This is a buy at $19.99 on Steam with not only the characters that I had during early access, but even more additional characters upon day one release. The game is fully going to be worth its price point. So when September 1st rolls around, I hope you guys check this game out. I think it's really worth it, and I think it's something strategy gamers should keep an eye on. So that's it for me. If you like the video, hit like, maybe subscribe. If you dislike the video, hit thumbs down as always, and remember, peace out.